Milena. Welcome to the Mr. J Test. We are on episode B for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So for those of you who are wondering what the Mr. J Test is, it is my new series where we examine one of my favorite television shows from A to Z. We figure out whether it passes first the Bechdel test, which has two characters who are female and talk to each other about something other than a man. Second, we determine whether it passes the Mr. J test, which would have two characters who are not white talk to each other about something other than a white person. And then, excitement, because we're going for the unicorn bonus round, and we want to see if the show has an episode that has two female non-white characters who talk to each other about something other than a white person or a man. Today, I am going to talk about Brooklyn Nine-Nine, one of my new favorite shows. Brooklyn Nine-Nine airs on Fox. At the moment, it's still airing and it's been renewed, so yippee. Brooklyn Nine-Nine initially was not one of my favorite shows. I didn't really want to watch it because I thought it would just be Andy Samberg as a cop doing stuff and Andre Braugher's there. Okay. And then I watched the first episode. And I watched it again, and then I watched the second episode, and I watched that again, and I watched the third episode, and I watched all of them again. And now I love it. It's my new favorite show of this season. But does it pass the Bechdel test? Let's see. All right, season 1, episode 14, because it's still the first season. We look at a episode called The Ebony Falcon. What happens in this episode? Sergeant Jeffords returns to active duty, and Gina deals with a burglary at her apartment. So one of the great parts of this episode was not just that Sergeant Jeffords is back in the field, but that when Gina had her apartment burglarized, Amy Santiago and Rosa Diaz, two of the detectives on the force, go and help her out. Initially, they're like, "What's she talking about? Why is she so mean?" And then they realize that she's scared. Then they go to her apartment and make sure it's safe by putting another lock on the door and a lock on the window. And they explain to her how things work. There are actually 3 women talking with each other about the safety of an apartment. So it passes. Yay. Does it pass the Mr. J test? So for this one, we're going to go to another episode. It's season 1 still, episode 13. It's called The Bet. And for those of you fans of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, you know what The Bet is all about. It started in the pilot. It's where Jeff... Who is Jeff? Jake. What's Jeff? I don't know. I don't think there's a Jeff on the series. Amy and Jake make a bet as to who can get the most arrests in a certain time period, or else Jake has to give Amy his car, or Amy has to go on a date with Jake. So Amy loses, has to go on the date with Jake. So what does this have to do with the Mr. J test? I thought it was about 2 non-white people having a conversation about something other than someone who's white. Well, it does have that, where we have Sergeant Jeffords and Captain Holt, both of whom are black, talking to Sergeant Jeffords' wife, also a black person. You might know her as Kelly from King of Queens, one of my favorite shows. They talk to each other about Sergeant Jeffords getting back into the field and how he lied to his wife about what was actually going on. Terrible, but passes the Mr. J test. So great. Thumbs up on that too. Woohoo! But does it pass the unicorn bonus round? Ding, 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 ding. Whew. It does pass the unicorn bonus round. We go to another episode. Let me look at my notes. Sal's Pizza. So in this episode, what happens in this episode? Jake has to save his favorite pizzeria. While he's dealing with that, Gina and Amy are going to upstate New York to investigate a job that... Not Gina, I'm sorry. Woo, wow. Gina's not there. She's not involved in this at the moment. She is involved in other things that pass the Bechdel test, but not in this one. So Amy and Rosa, both of whom happen to be Hispanic, talk about how they are two of the only women in their squad. So Rosa says, we have to have each other's back. And Amy says, you have my back? And it's very nice because it is great that the show actually acknowledges that they are two of the only women in their police precinct. And it's nice that they actually do support each other, just like they support everybody else in the precinct. But it's nice that they can be female police officers who are not shown to be competing with each other for the same job. It's when Rosa took her to the place and showed her, this is a terrible job. You would not like it here at all. She's like, oh, okay. And it deepened their friendship. And I like that women on this show can be friends. So great. So it passes the Bechdel test. Brooklyn Nine-Nine also passes the Mr. J test. And it passes the unicorn bonus round. So hooray! All right, well, we've come to the end of the episode. Thanks for watching. And the next episode will be C. I wonder what it could be. Bye for now.